Welcome to another pathetic podcast. This is your dose of Habs cope and criticism. Today is Sunday, March 29th, and we just finished a game against Carolina. I'm Michael.
I'm Patrick.
And here we're here for you. Yeah, we are your hosts, and here we are.
Okay.
So, 3 games to discuss. Or is it? Yeah, 3 games to discuss. First one was their last home game against Columbus, after which they embark on a 5-game road trip. But let's start with Columbus.
Okay, well, unlike a lot of Habs games, especially of late, this one was a low-scoring, non-overtime game where the Habs managed to gut out a 2-1 victory.
Very unusual for our Habs.
Yes. We were outshot 26-20, and Dobish stopped 25 of those. We were outshot, but not by a large margin. It was fairly even. Like don't have a lot of complaints about this game, except the physicality. And we're going to talk about this later when we get to the second topic. But
we were pushed around.
Is more built for playoff hockey than the Habs, I fear, like a lot of teams. And they really pushed and shoved us around, and that was not good. But they won the game, and they won a tight game. So I don't know. Take the bitter with the sweet. I'll take the win.
But as we've been saying all week, and I hate to go over this again, but without that goaltending, even though it was,
that is one aspect of this entire week and the week before that is really, without stellar elite level goaltending, we don't win a lot of those games. Again, goalies are part of the team.
Absolutely.
They count too, but I really don't want to see us going back to the Price and Halak day, the early Price and Halak days where we had nothing but goaltending going for us.
I mean, the difference here is that in each and every game that Dobesh or Fowler stands on their head to give us a win, at the same time, we have a team that when the other team makes a mistake, they can capitalize on it. We don't have Plekanec playing the top line with his turtleneck. Love the guy, but not a top line center, right?
Yeah.
So
we don't have that anymore. We do have people who can take advantage of mistakes and be opportunistic, and that's great because that's how you win. But yeah, there wasn't much else to say about Columbus except that they were knocking us around, and we absorbed it, and we managed to come through it and win a close game. So, that's the kind of games you're going to win in the playoffs, is the low scoring 1-goal games. So, and we didn't have to go to the gimmicky 3-on-3 to do it. It was, it was perfect.
Absolutely. And I think we didn't lose the second period. I don't remember.
No, that's a thing of the past lately. First and thirds maybe, but especially the first part of the
first periods,
especially the first 10 minutes, we're starting to have some trouble. But yeah, no, that Columbus game was a good way to end the homestand and put us in good position to start that 5-game road trip, the last major road trip of the season.
Yes. So onward to Nashville, where we were starting a back-to-back Nashville, Carolina.
Right.
Nashville at a normal time, 7:00 on Saturday. Nashville, home of inbred hillbillies and redneck shit whistles.
Yes, exactly. Who like really terrible music.
I hate country music. Sorry, people. I know that there's... Well, actually, Carey Price is no longer part of the team, so we don't have to put up with cowboy hats and country music.
No more country music. No Flames. No more country music. No more rednecks. No more gun nuts. That's all over with.
Well, might have a couple of gun nuts. Well, it is hockey after all.
True. The least evolved team sport out there. But that's another topic for another day.
That? You sure about that? You NFL, you got NBA.
The other leagues, the NFL, NBA, they're more...
What about lacrosse?
They are more economically and culturally diverse than hockey. Hockey is the whitest, most right-wing sport out there. and there are reasons, and it's a topic for the off season when we have nothing better to talk about, but we will talk about that. But talking about Nashville,
Yes.
the sad fact is, well, if you're a Nashville fan, aside from the fact that you have to live in Nashville, and you probably don't have all your teeth, even though you don't play hockey, is your team is garbage.
It's a fraud.
I know
It
that
is a
they are
fraud.
clinging to a wild card spot, but believe me, they're 20th overall in the league. They are only in a wild card because the West is garbage, and they are the epitome of mid, not even mid. They would have to aspire to be mid.
Yes. I was watching
They're thoroughly mediocre and teetering on bad.
I was watching Marinaro and McGuire post game, and McGuire said like they're to call them a bubble team is like
is an insult to bubbles.
is generous. He didn't say those exact words, but I'm boiling down the conversation, and it. He said not to take anything away from the Habs win. They played very well the right way, but that's not the team they're going to be facing in the playoffs.
No. I mean, it is telling that on this one occasion, the Habs didn't get to a slow start. They took care of business. They did what they're supposed to, but of course they're playing against a really slow, aging, not very good team.
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons the wheels fell off for Nashville is like because they're an older team. As the game wears on, they start to lose a little, a step or two.
Yeah, and I don't know if they played the night before or not, but it wouldn't matter.
I could check.
They're just not. It's not worth checking.
They went to 7-2-1. I know that before Saturday's game.
Yeah, I'd like to know who they played because there's a lot of crappy teams out there.
Well, exactly. That's what they were talking about. Actually, so
the Western Conference is replete with garbage. So yeah, so that was an easy win, but
they played the
Mr.
Devils
Saturday
and they
Night
lost.
got his Mr. Saturday Night got his cookie, number 45. So it was a good night all around.
They lost to the Devils on Thursday. They didn't play Friday.
Well, and the Devils are garbage too. So
yes,
there you go. And we played against UC Saros, so he did his level best, and he was not bad.
No, he made some amazing.
It could have been a
saves.
lot worse, but the Habs just ate the the Predators became prey.
Absolutely,
that's what happened there. So that was an easy 2 points, and then they move on for the back-to-back in Raleigh,
and here we are on Sunday. The rematch. The Canes in Raleigh, as you said.
Yes.
And let me just say, they weren't able.
The Canes were not able. No, they were not. And I mean, Raleigh is more, North Carolina is known for a really great college basketball team from Duke and a really overrated basketball team from North Carolina. But for hockey, the Canes are doing very well this year in the standings. They are
better than us.
They're better. Yeah, we're getting closer, but yeah. But they are a fast team. They shoot a lot. They shoot the way I wish we would shoot. Where
we're going to get into that later.
Wherever the Habs are looking to pass, the Canes are looking to shoot, and they pumped what was the last
43
week
shots.
Last week it was 40.
No, not tonight. Sorry.
Last week they pumped 43 shots.
43. Tonight it was 35.
And tonight it was 35.
Yeah.
And Dobish gave up
Three goals.
Two goals in the first. 2 goals in the first game and 1 goal.
No, 3 goals. 3 goals. Wasn't it 7-3?
No, they won 5-2.
I'm getting
5-2
confused. What was the 7-3 game?
That was the Islanders game.
Islanders, right?
That's ancient history now. Yes, but I was at the Canes game last week, 5-2. So he gave up 2 goals, and they were early goals, and then he made like 33 straight saves to close out the game. And today, they were shelled. Like in the first period, they were just being obliterated.
Yes, it was not pretty. It did not look good.
And he weathered the storm, let in 1 goal, which was a rocket, and then he shut it down. And even though he seemed to tweak maybe his groin or something a couple of times.
Yeah, I was just
He's
about to bring that up because
yeah.
I wanted to know if you had got any news alerts about,
Not as of yet, but,
because I'm
I have yeah. They're
my
not gonna
brother
tell you anything. They're not gonna
my
tell
brother
you anything.
Pat is said to me by text, he said, "Watch, tomorrow they'll announce that he's out for whatever, 4 weeks
Well,
or
that him
more."
and Gooley, he took that
He got
hard hit,
destroyed, yeah, yeah.
and he was slow getting up, and I thought, "Okay, well, he finished the rest of the game, but then we'll find out tomorrow morning that he can't get out of bed or something like that." It's always something. But no, Dobish was strong all the way through, so I'm gonna assume that he was fine, just shaken up a bit. You couldn't blame him because he was getting
God,
shelled,
shelled, yeah.
most of that game. But
So
again, the Habs took their opportunities and scored timely goals. And
yes.
Suzuki got his 90th and 91st points, and Mr. Sunday Night
No,
got his
actually,
46th.
he
He
got
got 3 points. Yeah,
3
he
points,
had a
an
goal,
assist and
2
2
goals and
goals.
an assist. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
stupidly at the end of the game, Evans was trying to feed him the puck. I
yes.
understand why,
Yep.
but, at that point, there's still a chance that you could let Carolina back in, and I disagree with trying to feed
And
him the
if any
puck
team
when you're
could.
trying to win the game. If you could, I mean, he had the open net. He should have just shot and got the empty net
Yep,
goal. I
yep, and
mean,
if any team could blow a 2-goal lead with the other team's goalie out, it would be this team. So, yeah. But, yeah, he had 3-point night. He's got 91 points on the season. That's a career high. He could
isn't it?
conceivably hit 100
Wait a
points.
minute, isn't it 92? Because he was. I
No,
thought he was
I
at.
think his last one was his 91st point.
Oh,
But,
okay, okay,
um, he eclipsed his career high of last year,
yep,
and he's
with 9 games left.
perilously close to the 100-point plateau, which no Hab has achieved in 30 years. And of course, Cole Caulfield with his 46th, he's got, what has he got? 9 games left to
9.
score 4 goals. I think he's going to do it. He almost
And a
scored 2
second
or
one
3
tonight. Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
So I'm not worried about him.
The other thing
And
I should add that we talked about this by text, but I don't think Carolina is a fraud so much, but I do think their top scorer has 30 goals.
but they're,
Yeah,
I
as a
mean, they're
team
good
they
in a lot
score,
of the analytic categories, and they certainly shoot a lot.
but the
Which
Canadians
I like. I
the
mean, I wish the
Canadians
Habs would do it more.
the Canadians drew Anderson
Yes,
twice,
both games.
and his
And
stats this year are 871 save percentage before tonight.
yeah,
I
I am
mean,
kind of puzzled that Rod Brindamore started him not once but twice. They
yeah,
played yesterday, and they played Boosie or whatever the
yeah,
hell his name is against the
Brandon Bussi.
Devils. The Devils. I
That's
mean,
true. They should
the
have played.
Devils. I
I mean,
mean, the
they
Devils
lost.
are
Oh, no, they didn't.
garbage.
Yeah,
I don't care whether they won or lost. You don't. Why are you playing your best goalie against a doormat team like the Devils, and then when a good team like Montreal comes into your barn, you're giving it to Freddie Anderson, who melted down just a week ago against the same team? I
yeah,
mean,
no, I agree. Like,
Suzuki's first goal should never have gone in. I mean, it was just a bad goal on
it
Anderson's
was a
part.
Monty muffin.
It was a routine, no mustard on it, yeah. So I don't know what Rod Brindamore's thought process was, if he had one. That was a mistake.
Everybody's so creative.
Yeah, well, not everybody. Rod Brindamore showed zero creativity there.
Well, that's a sarcastic everybody. So creative.
Yes, sure. So yeah, that was the week that was. They got their 3 wins, which is what you want. This
But
sort
we
of
like to
segues into our
nitpick. We like to nitpick, and that
segues into
segues
our second topic, which
topic
is
number
a
2.
nitpicky topic. But
Are the Habs winning the right way? Are they built to succeed in the playoffs? So you got to love all this winning, but the brothers Grimm, we can always find a thread to pull at. And but sometimes they're important threads. So I did a little stats digging here. So Pat's going to have to bear with me for a second. And it goes back to some of the things we said in our game wrap up. But so we struggled, even though we beat Carolina twice.
Right.
One of the reasons we struggled is Carolina is number 1 in ozone possession in the league. and they're number 1 in D zone possession in the league, and they're number 4 in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Montreal, on the other hand, is doesn't even crack the top 10 in any of those categories. The Canes, as Patrick pointed out, take a lot more shots. Actually, 422 more shots than the Habs have taken so far this season. Um,
It's not
Carolina on
hard to
paper.
outshoot the Habs, but that's a lot.
No, I think they're one of the
Yeah.
lowest.
Yeah.
But Carolina on paper is actually technically a faster team. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my
I would say
computer.
that's a wash, but the Habs aren't going to outrun them the way they
No,
outran
well, the
Nashville.
thing is, what I saw on the screen is them running around their own zone,
Mhm.
and it looks to the outside observer like they don't know what their assignment is at that point. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like. So, second one, Nashville doesn't even rank in the top 10 in possession category in any zone. So they're much more similar to Montreal in that respect. Preds have fewer goals, but take more shots on goal. That again, not hard. They are a slower team than Montreal on paper, as we already
Very
discussed.
much slower. Yeah.
And the last one I'm going to discuss is Columbus is as speedy as the Habs on paper, a little bit faster. Its possession numbers are very close to the Canadiens, which is nowhere close to top 10 in the league. Columbus scores way more from slot chances than
they go there.
Montreal. Because that's exactly what I was thinking. But it's not just that they go there, it's that when other teams go there against the Habs, people like Carrier cannot move them from the crease. And that's an ongoing problem that we've talked about. Habs have, I call it Caulfield's office. They have 25 goals from Caulfield's office, and Columbus and Carolina have 6 and 8 respectively. So it just shows you how much more that's Caulfield scoring.
Yeah,
If it
that's
wasn't
all
for
Caulfield.
it's all Caulfield.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
5
can't be
from
Laine.
there's 5 from a zone that is behind the goal. It's like below the goal line and covers both sides of the net, but it's like that's all Caulfield. So that's what I got on that. So,
well,
how are they winning, and why is this problematic?
Well,
because I think it's problematic.
I mean, winning is never problematic because at the end of the day, the only stat that counts is the scoreboard, especially in the playoffs. They don't care how good it looks, as long as at the end of that game you have one more goal than the other guy. So I get that, and if they win ugly, they win ugly. Just win, just win, baby. But the thing is, these kind of habits that they fall into where they get caved in their own zone and they get outshot badly, and the other team is skating around and around, and they're trying not to blow their assignments as they're trying to play man on man, and they're being physically manhandled by a bigger opponent. These are all harbingers of doom for the postseason, because that's what happens in the playoffs. They won't call penalties, so you're not going to get any cheap power plays. You'll probably not get power plays that you actually deserve to get, because they're going to let the refs are going to put the whistle in their pocket, and the game's going to turn into a rodeo, and it's going to be what it is. These big players will lean on you, and it's going to be a mess.
We saw a little bit of that tonight. There was several sequences where the ref was right there. Carolina was clutching and grabbing and pushing us out of the way, even when we didn't have the puck, committing like interference, and nothing was called. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what it would be like in the playoffs. And Montreal didn't do well. They were chasing the puck.
Yep.
I liked seeing Jack-Eye on the wing.
For the 5 minutes and 18 seconds that he played.
Yeah, it was crazy short amount of time, but I don't know why, because he looked good when he was out there. And I know it's not the game changer, but it was nice to see a physicality up front.
And they're going to need, men. They're going to need it. This was the method to Marty's madness with this move, even if it was just a 5-minute experiment. It might be something to consider when the playoffs start, and especially for playing like Buffalo or some
by the way,
heavy team, which we would if
dangerously
the
close
right now.
Yeah, I know it's not and we don't match. This team does not match
having
well.
Jack-Eye in the lineup is a problem for me, not because I think he's a great defenseman, because he's not, but then neither is Jaden Struble. But you need toughness. I would not be surprised when the playoffs start if they do have Jack-Eye up front, depending on, who's healthy and who isn't. But or maybe a call up from getting Sammy Blais
Oh,
back in the lineup.
no. Actually, McGuire and Marinaro talked about something
Oh
today.
yes, yeah. The
Arsenault.
yes, and we
So,
saw him
oh my God.
when we were in Montreal, and he beat the living crap
So
out
when we
of
went on the walkway to that what is it called, the
to the zone Tanguay.
the zone
Yeah.
Tanguay,
Yeah.
there's a picture of Arsenault on the side, and it's
Yeah.
like, if you were not frightened by that face, then
Yeah.
you're not normal.
He's
Because
got
I
he's
was
got
like,
the beard like the
holy,
Radko Gudas beard,
yeah.
and
He looks like a Neanderthal, and I
yeah,
don't mean that in a bad way.
no, he got in a fight. I don't know who the hump from Springfield he was fighting against, but he clocked him like 3 good
He's a
full
lefty.
on right on the chin, right in the
He's
face.
a lefty, so the guy didn't
Yeah,
see
he
it
was a
coming.
lefty, and the guy didn't know what to do, and he dropped him like a bad habit. And yeah, I mean, not that I expect to see him called up, but he's tough. Sammy Blais can play hockey better, like he's more of a hockey player, but he's tough too. He's good on the boards. I've liked what I've seen from Veleno.
Yeah,
I've been very impressed. He's not a tough guy, but he's big. He's
been
uses
hitting.
his body, and he can take faceoffs. He has some skill.
He can win faceoffs too.
Yeah,
and we need that.
So yeah, but having Jack-Eye on playing forward, if injuries or whatever dictate, it's not the worst thing you could do.
But here's what I'm afraid of. Sorry, I just knocked the microphone. I'm afraid that Marty is so intransigent that he never wants to. He's not creative in that way. He doesn't even juggle
everybody's
his
not
line.
so creative.
Everybody's not so creative. In game, he rarely makes changes. He will roll the same lines over. The only person he takes out is Jack-Eye. That's the only person he cuts time on. Sometimes Struble, because Struble never plays more than like
True,
9.5
but again,
minutes.
he
That's it.
did dress Jack-Eye tonight. Now maybe out of necessity.
He wanted to have it like I said.
A call up from Laval wouldn't have been. I mean, it was possible, but not really ideal.
Well, we don't know where the Laval team is. They were
in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, so it's actually not that far.
Wouldn't have to go through customs.
No, they're already in the States, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was still not ideal. You had a guy there. Why not?
Itching to play.
Marty was willing to give it a try,
which I was shocked. I was honestly shocked about.
I mean,
that.
Yes, it was only 3 shifts or whatever, but and it gave a little bit of a rest to the guys he was double shifting. But he at least went there. So I don't know. Maybe there's hope.
But does he go there and then regret it immediately? Because how does he only play less than 6 minutes? It's like,
because that's all he needs him for is for that 6 minutes, And then when they got ahead,
are you saying
and they
good
were
enough?
They were
good enough.
Well, yeah, man, good enough. Well, the thing is, they don't want him out there when they're trying to protect a 2-goal lead, which because he's not likely to score for you. Okay.
But I don't think he's likely to hurt you, especially if he's on the front end, not the back end.
He's not likely, but he's never played there. So this isn't really the time to experiment when you're up by 2 goals with half a game to play. You need to focus on getting the guys out there who are going to lock it down. Right?
Which is why Evans should have taken the shot and gotten the empty net goal and not dicked around with it. I hate this dicking around. I know it all ended fine, but
this is another thing about winning the right way. Not so much the empty net stuff, but clearing the zone when you have an easy out. A goal that they scored was because an easy out did not get made and it stayed in the zone. And so many times you'll have a Habs player will get the puck and all he has to do is get out, but he decides to start stick handling with it, thinking he's got more time, and some guy comes behind him and dispossesses him of the puck, and the puck stays in the zone, and they get 3 extra shots on Dobis.
It always feels like they think that they have all of this time in the world, and then they are like, oh,
yeah,
and it's gone.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's luck. They fan on it and it just dribbles. But, I've seen them try to ring it around the boards or off the glass, and they still can't get it the hell out. It's, it gets knocked down at the point. They can never keep a puck in when it gets ringed around like that. But damn, when they're trying to clear the zone late in the game, they can't, for love nor money, get it the hell out of there. And a lot of the late goals that have been scored on them when Monty was there were a result of not being able to clear the damn
Yep.
zone in the late stages. They would get the puck on their stick, and somehow they would hang on to it just long enough for their stick to be checked, and they would blow it. Yeah, they're going to have to be a little quicker on dumping it out. You can't get scored on from 200 feet away or 100 feet away, like unless Dobish is playing, or
Yes.
unless
No,
Monty's playing.
Monty's playing, yeah.
But you got to get it out of the zone and force them to exit and regroup. At least give yourself a little breather, because as long as they keep it in and they're cycling it, that's when you start blowing assignments, because they're
Yeah.
playing this man-on-man system. And the longer you have to do it, the more you break down. So that's what I would say.
So we're moving on now because
Yes.
we're getting close to the end here.
Yep.
And it's the pathetic failure of the week.
Yes.
So some may say negative, but we like to say we're reality based.
That's right.
Okay. And without further ado, it's time for this month's much anticipated segment. And let me just tell you ahead of time, let me preface by saying that this may elicit some strong reaction from fans and camarade alike.
It's a hot take.
Or is it a hot dump?
Well, I'm going to take a hot dump on this player. It's Lane Hudson, who I love. Let's preface it by saying that. And he's overall playing, of course, very well. He's having another historic season, 60 assists, and, but he has this tendency, and I guess with a player like that, you have to take the good with the bad, but
You take the
he
good,
does
you
take
the bad.
he takes chances that don't always pan out. And when they don't, they often end up in the back of our net. And, we haven't suffered too much for it. But again, when the playoffs start, mistakes like that will lose you hockey games. They will get you eliminated. And I don't
tight
want
games.
I don't want him to, develop a complex about being the guy, the GOAT who choked it away or who blew it. He's just got to be a little more conservative. And I hate saying that, because I like guys who are freewheeling. I don't like the Terrian style coaches who always want to rein people in and make them play like
The right
table
way.
hockey players, and grind the puck and all this. But at playoff time, sometimes you got to grind. And in certain moments of the game, you just have to be better at decision making, and he needs to tighten that up.
He's still very young.
He's still very young. Like I said,
fairness.
it's not a huge dump on him or anything, but he was going through some things this past week, and he needs to, and Marty cut his ice time back when he made the screw up. He sat him on the bench a little longer. So, it's learning. It's a process. He's learning, and I'm sure he will improve. But going into the playoffs, he needs to be mindful. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, I think that that those kind of mistakes in one goal games, like this was their I think it's their 24th come from behind win.
Yes.
So,
but again,
I'd
I'd like them to lead and not have to come from behind,
Exactly
because they make a stupid mistake. But anyway, so that's the pathetic failure of the week.
Topic number 3, our final topic.
Yes.
Road trip and wrap up.
Yes. Well, as you know, we went on the road trip. We arrived in Montreal on St. Patrick's Day. We went to the Bruins game. We went to the Laval-Springfield game on Friday. We went to the Islanders game on the Saturday. And I stayed behind for a few more days, and I went to the Carolina game as well.
And of course,
just want to say,
Basu and Godin podcast.
During that time, we got to sit in on the Basu and Godin Notebook live podcast and met some really nice people. There was the couple from Ottawa whose name Chloe was the girl. I can't remember the guy's name. Alexi, right?
Alexi.
Yeah, Alexi and Chloe. and our boys, lay boys, Marty and Kevin.
Yeah.
We will be doing it again next year, as we have done for the last now 4 years. And I would
And
just say that if you have a group of friends and you have the opportunity to go to Montreal for a weekend and spend it doing what we did, it's well worth it, and you will want to repeat it. So yeah, I just wanted to again give a shout out to all the people we encountered, and
and when we
we're
went to
looking forward to
Laval, the
next year.
person you booked the tickets with,
Yes,
she came by to check on us.
Gabrielle Rousseau, the representative from the Rocket, in the ticket person that got us hooked up with the balcon section there, the zone Tanguay, for the last couple of years. She came by the table and introduced herself and made sure we were having a good time, and really good customer service. Give her a call, ask to speak to her if you want to arrange something. It's well worth it to arrange a trip to see a Laval game and to see it from that
Vantage
area where
point,
you
yeah.
can eat and drink. So yeah, so that's all I had to really say about that. Just the experience, and already looking forward to next year.
So the next game on the road looks like Tampa.
Yes, on Tuesday it'll be Tampa, then the Rangers, and then the final game will be on Saturday in New Jersey, and then Sunday at home to New Jersey. So that's the week coming up.
I mean, that's a winnable week. So,
well, Tampa not so much, but
yeah.
certainly the Rangers and the Devils. Yeah, there should be three wins in that week.
I hope so. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Until next week, we may have some bonus content, but until next week, we bid you adieu.
Yes, next week is Easter weekend, so you could spend the day in church, or you could spend it watching our podcast. So you know what
do
to
the right thing. Peace out.